Hello and welcome to Combat Patrol Carnage. We're kickstarting our latest issue. It's issue 13 and it's not terribly unlucky because we get to complete our Terminator squad, which is always a good bonus. So it adds the much needed and most powerful squad to the Space Marines Combat Patrol. So this is actually the last unit we need to complete the basic Combat Patrol box set. So yeah, pretty cool units to finish off. Inside the magazine then, we have our paint guide, which we'll be doing in this video. I got the model that I built in the last issue on standby, ready to be painted. So I've already primed him with 3 coats of Macragge blue. But yeah, we can get on to painting the details in the magazine's guide. There's a lot of information in the magazine as well. We learn about creating a Space Marine. We have part 3 of our Silver Templar story. And we have a look at some of the special abilities of our units so far. So with this issue, we got the smaller of the 2 frames that make up the Terminators. So on here we have parts for the Sergeant and our remaining regular Trooper. We also got bases, so 5 40mm hex hole bases and 1 25mm for the Teleport Homer. Some people have mentioned that store copies have been missing the 25mm base, so if they are, do contact Hachette and they should be able to sort you out a replacement part. But luckily mine came with all the required bases, so I'm ready to get on and build the Terminator squad and get them painted up, ready for their battle this issue. So before we hit the table, don't forget to do all the usual. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment down below, and don't forget to share with all your social medias. If you know someone who's getting into Warhammer, these videos might be very helpful at drip feeding them the lore and the rules. So do share them, and don't forget to, of course, get them to subscribe to the channel for future videos. Finally, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They have a wide selection of new and used models and even armies. They also stock painting supplies and gaming aids. Finally, they also have a large selection of backstock of the previous part works for Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Age of Sigmar, as well as a brand new Combat Patrol. So if you're wanting some extra issues, check them out and you can pick up some extras. There's a link in the video description for them, and who knows, you might find your next hobby project at a bit of a discount. Right, let's head to the table and we'll put some paint on our new Terminator model. So here we are then with issue 13, and we've got our last frame as well as the bases for our Terminators. So the 5 40mm bases with the 2 hex holes, and that 1 25mm for our Teleport Homer as well. Put those to one side, ready for use. And here we have the remainder of the frame. So we got parts for our Sergeant here. We got some heads, including the optional Sergeant Bear head there, if you so choose. But yeah, we don't have enough to build full models here. We only have enough to build parts of models. We're missing the Sergeant's Stormbolter and Power Sword. Actually, I think we got the Stormbolter, it's just his Power Sword arm, which is on the other frame. And yeah, we don't have... I might have everything for the 1 regular Trooper there. But yeah, pretty cool kit nonetheless. Looking forward to painting these guys in the Ultramarine colours that we're going to be doing in this issue. So I'll adjust the camera and we'll go through the contents of this issue before we bring in our paint desk and get to painting our models. So into the issue 13, full contents we have for this issue is our paint guide for our Terminator squad. We have 2 new pages of lore, so creating Space Marines and Bonds of Honor part 3 for our Silver Templar story. We have our collect articles, so we get to name our Terminator squad and find out their heroic deeds. Plus we have our 2 play articles, special abilities, which look at adding characters to units, And we have our scenario Burden of Command, where we get to try out attaching characters to units. So we go over the paint guide before I bring in the paint desk. So it's much the same as our other Space Marines, but we are getting a little closer to a complete guide now. So base coat, all 6 models, with 3 coats of Macragge blue using our base coat brush. Pick out the black details, such as the joints between the armour, gun casings, etc. with Abaddon black. Pick out gold detail for Retributor armour, so you've got the chest eagles, the power sword, any little skulls, gun ammo, as well as gun icons. Then move into lead belcher to pick out the gun hopper, as well as any mechanical details, so don't forget to do the assault cannon as well. Blade of our sergeant's power sword. And we've got lots of little details on the Terminators themselves, so there's pieces on their helmets, pipes on their arms, and the vents on their back there. We've got a lot of detail on the teleport home with the paint lead belcher. It's pretty much all lead belcher, really. And then finally, we're painting Corax white on the helmets of our regular troopers, as well as all the Crux Terminati decorated around our models. So we'll leave our Sergeant's head blue for now, as we're adding Mephiston red in a couple of issues' time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a gallery of our models. Don't forget to pick out the shells on the base of our assault cannon guy. Right, so yeah, that's our models up to this stage. So I'll bring the paint desk in and we can paint our model that we built last issue. So here we are. Here's our model that we built last time. So we've got a little skull detail on the base. Storm bolter, power fists ready. So the only thing I'm going to do different to the magazine is I'm going to actually start with Corax white instead of finish with it. That way, hopefully, we can be neat around all the other white detail. And we won't have to do too much and tidy up. So just use my small layer brush. So we'll start off, we've got the head to pick out. Then we can cover over the silver areas later. Other details to pick out are the Crux Terminators. So there's one on the knees, and they of course have their left shoulder pad. Any overspill we've done like there, we can tidy up with blue at the end of the tutorial. There we go, the white details picked out. Like I said, we'll tidy up any overspill later on in the tidy up stage. But moving on, we'll do the black details. So gun casings, joints in the armour, that sort of thing. So we'll get some Abaddon black on our palette. Then onto our models. So we got the little bits on the belt here to pick out. Gaps in the armour there. And we got the undersuit showing through on his hips. And of course behind the knees. And we got the gun casing to pick out, so we can paint pretty much over the entire gun casing because we'll pick out all the other details when we do the metallics. That's all our black detail done. So starting to look a little colourful, but there's a lot more detail to pick out. So next we're moving on to our metallics. So we want to do Retributor armour first. So this is going to be on a lot of the gold, all the gold detail. And there's quite a lot on these models. We've got lots of little skulls. We've got the Aquila on the chest. We've got ammo. And don't forget to pick out the hilt and pommel of the Sergeant's power sword as well. So the predominant area to pick out is the Aquila on the chest here. Again, I'm not worried too much about slip up, so I'm going to do a tidy up stage at the end. We've got a little skull just on his wrist guard there to pick out. Casing ammo inside the Stormbolter hopper. Both sides, don't forget to do that. And don't forget to also do the skull and wing here on the gun casing itself. Probably need to do a couple of coats in all areas, as the stronger base coats will show through. Just let your first one dry and come back for them. There we go, our gold detail is dry, and now we just have one colour left to do before I tidy up. And that's lead belcher, so we've got a lot of silver detail, pipes, weapon workings, and there's some details around the face as well. So I'll get some of this on my palette. A couple of drops of water help thin it out. Clean with a brush. So we got little grill and nubs here on the face. You can actually work the paint into the background of it as well. Being careful around that white already done. We also got a little vent on the top of the head just there. Like so. You can see the silver. We've also got the lenses up at the top here to pick out, and the back side of them as well. And around here we got these cables on the arms, as well as this little piece at the front. And we've also got the magazine hopper and the rest of the details on the gun. So there we go, all our details are blocked in. Now we just need to do a bit of a tidy up and he'll be ready to join the rest of the squad on the tabletop. So first off, we've got some blue ready to do some tidying up. So we've got the knee pad to re-block in. being careful around all the detail we've done. Go around the hood here as well. Tidy up. And just around the Aquila. And our final bit to tidy up is just on the storm bolter where we've overspilled with the metallics. And there we go. So that's our Terminator model finished and ready to join the rest of the squad. There's still a lot of details to pick out, but we do need to require a few more paints. Plus, basing detail we're not going to be covering until the later issue when we get the base paint. So there we have it. That's it up to this standard. So I'll bring all of them in for the final outro. So here we have the full squad all up to date and ready for the battlefield in a future video. So there you have the assault cannon. You have our sergeant who's just got the metal detail picked out for the moment, as we're going to be painting the rest of the helmet red. Yeah, looking really good so far. And teleport Homer, just the silver and the blue on that for the moment. We got some small details like the skull and detail on the fins to pick out. Yeah, there's the other two Power Fist troopers. So yeah, each one's nicely, uniquely posed. And yeah, a really good squad. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. We've put the painting tutorial in the issue to use on our new Terminator models. But up next then we have a little bit of lore, plus we have our naming ceremony for the Terminator squad. So all what's left to do is to say thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time on Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.